Institute of Strategic Studies has organized today's event to mark the 70th years of Pakistan-Iran relations.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan and Iran are two brotherly neighboring countries with centuries-old civilizational ties. Around 1,000-kilometer long border, which is a border of peace and friendship, offers immense opportunities for profitable trade and economic exchanges between the peoples living on both sides. Pakistan is committed to expanding the deepening economic and commercial interaction with Iran. The government of Pakistan in recent years has taken several measures to facilitate business contacts with Iran and enhance exchanges in the field of economy and trade. Today, Alhamdulillah, the bilateral trade has crossed the $1 billion mark and the prospects for further growth remain very bright. Two banking channels are important, and we are optimistic that State Bank of Pakistan and Bank Milli Iran would find a way of implementation of banking and payment arrangement.
What I want to emphasize is that the people who have tried to create problems in the relationship are a very small minority. The overwhelming majority of people on both sides of the border have very warm and strong feelings for each other and really believe in the destiny of this. The second dimension that we must keep in mind that the Muslim world as a whole has been in great turmoil in the last decade and two. Today, if you look at the trouble spots in the world, most of the trouble spots happen to be in the Islamic world, whether it's Iraq, whether it's Syria, whether it's Libya, whether it's Yemen, and it's a very tragic situation that Muslims are killing Muslims every day.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. And let me assure you that Iran will never do anything to harm Pakistan. And we are confident in Iran that Pakistan will never do anything to harm Iran. And that is a lot of confidence for two neighbors to have so much confidence in each other and in the attitudes towards one another. The Iran-Pakistan pipeline, which hopefully can come to fruition through the common efforts of both countries. The banking relations between Iran and Pakistan, which hopefully will remove the hurdles. The preferential trade agreement between Iran and Pakistan, which will hopefully move to free trade agreement between the two countries. And making the two big projects in Iran and Pakistan, that is the Gwadar port and the Chabahar port, to be complementary and not to be even perceived by anybody. There has been an illusion that security can be purchased. There has been an illusion that security can be attained at the expense of insecurity of others. But we live in a different world. Our world is not a world of coalitions anymore. We build coalitions only to find that our allies turning against us. 1 week after September 11th, I went to New York, and I saw among the New Yorkers a horror in their face. They looked at a foreigner and they saw a bomb. That is, the greatest superpower on the face of the earth could not even achieve the minimum that is required of any state: security for its citizens. That's the outcome of the paradigm of exclusion and rivalry and trying to build coalitions against each other. The scourge of ISIS doesn't recognize between Shia and Sunni, doesn't recognize between Muslim and Christian. Brothers and sisters, the most victims of Daesh have been Sunni Muslims. Not Shia Muslims, not Christians, not Jews, but Sunni Muslims. So the menaces that affect us in this region are common merits. They require common solutions. We need to recognize it. We need to recognize that if we create an enemy for our enemy, it will become our enemy. The Islamic world can be a very strong ummah, provided that none of us try to become the dominant force in that ummah. Provided that none of us tries to become the dominant force in the region. Provided that none of us tries to exclude anybody else from this region, blaming them for whatever. Our relations with India, just like Pakistan's relations with Saudi Arabia, are not against Pakistan, as we understand that Pakistan's relations with Saudi Arabia are not against Iran. We want to develop Chabahar as a complementary force to Gwadar, not as a competing force, because we believe that this area, eastern Iran and southeastern Iran and southwestern Pakistan, is an area that requires a great deal of development. And it gets all of us to work together in order to develop this area, and the outcome of this development would be to remove the poverty and underdevelopment that has given rise to terrorism and extremism on your side and extremism and terrorism on our side. And that is why we need to work together. We offered to participate with Pakistan in the CPAC project. We have offered Pakistan and China to participate in Chabahar. And we believe that to complement these two projects together, with the presence of anybody who is interested to be participating. I believe President Trump doesn't have any love lost for JCPOA. He's made it clear. In his speech in 2016 before APAC, just about 2 years ago when he was a candidate, he said that this would be the first thing that he would do to get rid of JCPOA because he calls it an embarrassment. He even said it in front of the United Nations, and it's interesting. For a permanent member of the Security Council to go before the General Assembly of the United Nations and call a resolution that they sponsored in the Security Council the worst 11. And they sponsored it, nobody forced them to sponsor it. The United States sponsored JCPOA in the Security Council because Resolution 2231, one of the longest resolutions in UN history, about 160 pages long, was sponsored by the United States, not by Iran. But President Trump said it is an embarrassment for the United States.
Well, I think he tried to put across the Iranian viewpoint very eloquently and very comprehensively. I think he tried to sort of also stress the point that there is a need for unity amongst the Muslim countries. Well, I think the difference, there are areas of commonality and where there is cooperation, but there are also areas of differences. Pakistan and Iran are trying to sort of bridge their differences and try to see where they can find answers to those. But this is very normal that countries which have sometimes conflicting interests, but if they have this goal in front of them, that even the differences can be bridged, provided the common aim is to bring stability, peace in their own countries